The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, March 4, reveal that Phyllis Summers will plot an escape attempt while Summer Newman blames Sharon Newman. Chance Chancellor will also get a tricky request, so here's what Y&R has in store. In captivity, Phyllis will decide she's had enough of all the riddles and being locked up with her worst enemy. That's why Phyllis will grab a chair and plan to smash a window before screaming as loud as possible. Sharon will get into a physical struggle with Phyllis over that chair and fear they'll both meet a grim fate as she anchors their captor. However, Y&R spoilers point to Sharon and Phyllis eventually working together on an escape scheme. Their captor might approve on some level once Phyllis and Sharon are working as a team. That said, the game isn't over yet, so it looks like Sharon and Phyllis' getaway attempt will fail in the end. Over with Summer, she'll play the blame game once more. When Summer first learned Phyllis went missing at the same time as Sharon, she suspected Sharon might have done something to her mom. Although Phyllis checked in briefly over the phone, Summer will have concerns about her going off the radar again. It'll be suspicious considering Sharon had a similar call to Nick Newman and hasn't had any further contact with her loved ones either. Summer may feel like Sharon forced Phyllis to make that phone call, but when has Phyllis ever let Sharon tell her what to do? Chance may remind Summer that it's best to avoid jumping to any conclusions without evidence. However, Summer may save some blame for Chance and feel like he's not taking her fears seriously. Daniel Romalotti Jr. will grow increasingly concerned as well since he'll push Chance to launch an official investigation into Phyllis' disappearance. That should be a tricky request since Phyllis herself said she was out of town and reassured Summer. Chance may agree something seems off about all this, but making this a proper police investigation could be a challenge considering Phyllis' story. Our predictions point to Chance doing what he can to help, but there will be more complications along the way. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Summer and Chance will get updates on some shocking news down the road, so stay tuned for what'll happen after Phyllis and Sharon's ordeal. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless scoop for Monday, March 3 reveals Nate Hastings will tell Lily Winters to stay away from his half-brother. Also coming up, Sally Spectra and Billy Abbott will host Diane Jenkins and Jack Abbott plus Damian Kane will have dinner with Amy Lewis. Y&R spoilers tease Jack and Diane will tell Billy his new place looks amazing. They'll also admit they've moved into the GCAC, while the Abbott house is getting redecorated. Jack will be concerned when Billy says he saw construction crews outside. Y&R Daily Scoop, Jack tells his brother that he's proud of him. Billy will make a toast, thanking Jack for funding his next journey and for believing in him. As for Jack, he'll tell his brother he's proud of him and they'll embrace. Diane will say she's happy for him, but she thinks he's making a mistake, bringing in Phyllis Summers. When Billy admits Phyllis is meeting with potential partners, but he hasn't heard from her in a day, Diane will become alarmed. Keep your eyes open, be careful, Jack will add. After they leave, Billy will say every time he calls Phyllis and she doesn't answer, he doesn't get it. I wish I knew where she was, so I could just talk to her at least. Meanwhile, Lily will tell Nate she had Damian investigated. She'll say she didn't want him to be blindsided. Nate will not be happy and say he didn't ask her to do it. Devin Winters will ask Lily if found out anything. First of all, Damian lied about his position at Danglers and Monte Cristo, she'll say. They went to great lengths to hide who the real owner is. She'll add that Damian is CEO, but doesn't own them. So, Lily will say it's a big red flag. What else is he hiding? Nate will ask if she's sure about this. Positive, she'll reply. Then Nate will ask how she found out, and when she tells him she asked Victor Newman, he'll get angry. Lily will say every time she's met with Damian, she feels like he's holding something back. Wait a minute, Nate will reply, "You've been meeting with him." "How many times?" Lily will say, "Just a couple." Nate will tell her he never asked her to get involved in this at all, but she'll say she agreed to have dinner with Damien if he saw his mother again. Young and the Restless scoop, Amy hopes he'll get to know Nate. "It wasn't your place to jump in there and run interference for me," Nate will reply. "I can handle my own business." Lily will say she was trying to encourage Damien to make peace with Amy, but Nate will tell her she might have just messed everything up. "I'm sorry, how?" she'll ask. He'll tell her if Damien learns she had him investigated, he could leave town without giving Amy a second chance. "Did you ever consider that?" Nate will add, "I didn't ask for your help and I don't need it, are we clear?" But Devin will say Lily was just looking out for him. Nate will apologize to his cousin, but he'll tell her he's upset she involved Victor. So Devin will ask what he needs them to do and Nate will say he needs them to do nothing. No more investigations, no more casual run-ins. Leave it alone. Finally, Amy will have dinner with her son. She'll say it breaks her heart that he thought she didn't care about his father while he was dying. He'll apologize for not taking her feelings into account. "If there is even the slightest chance we can mend the hurt between us," Amy will reply, "I can die a happy woman." The mother and son will share memories of his father Jackson. It'll include the family cat, Figaro, and the day Damien was born. "Do you swear he never knew the truth?" Damien will ask his mom. Amy will say he never suspected. Talk will turn to her getting a second opinion about her diagnosis. She'll say Nate has pushed for it. So Damien will ask his mom what she knows about Nate's cousins. Amy will wonder about his sudden interest in Nate's cousins. So she'll ask her son if he's considering getting to know Nate better. "I'm definitely thinking about it," he'll reply. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, March 3, imply some interesting moments as the soap kicks off a new week in the land of Genoa City. A reunited couple goes public, while someone fills in the gaps of a story, and a character has a bad case of cabin fever. What's set to unravel during Monday's show? Time to find out. Chatham goes public. Fresh off their reunion dinner date, Chelsea Lawson and Adam Newman will decide to have a coffee date at Crimson during Monday's show. While the two may be a bit nervous at first, as this will be a public declaration of their rekindled romance, they'll decide to fluff off any potential hate and move forward with it. Of course, as luck will have it, they'll run into Billy Abbott, and it looks like the three will have a bit of an encounter. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, March 3 suggests some words will be shared between the men, as Adam asks Billy about his new venture in an effort to poke at the bear. Will the confrontation end in disaster? Lily Winters fills in the blanks. Across town, it sounds like Lily Winters will fill in the blanks for Nate Hastings where his half-brother is concerned. As fans know, Damien Kane is quite smitten with Lily, and the two had dinner together this past week, after he agreed to pay his mom, Amy Louise, a visit. During their dinner, Damien offered his side of the story as to why he became estranged from his mom, and it seems that Lily will offer this information to Nate. Phyllis Summers goes stir-crazy. Lastly, it looks like the situation Phyllis Summers is in will start to get to her. As fans know, she and longtime rival, Sharon Newman, are locked in an old psychiatric ward under the watchful eye of a mysterious captor who's been playing mind games with the women. During the Young and the Restless preview video for the week of March 3-7, a clip is shown of Phyllis snapping. She has a chair in her hands and is ready to break the window at the top of the wall and start screaming for help. Sharon tries to reason that this could get them killed, but will Red listen to what her nemesis has to say? What storyline are you excited to see unravel on Monday? Share your thoughts below. Identities are stolen every day, and you've likely seen various social media profiles that appear to be for some of your favorite daytime stars. Many are official, but others absolutely are not, and the Young and the Restless Connor Floyd recently spoke out about his own profile. Wild that I even have to say this, but this is my only social page. The CBS soap actor posted via a story on his official Instagram, then warned, "If you are communicating with anyone using my name or pictures, it's not me." He cautioned that this included all platforms and urged his fans to report any accounts that they came across made to look like his, then added, "Keep a sharp eye." And those who follow Floyd's official Instagram account get to hear the latest news straight from the actor himself, like back in December when he reposted a photo by his girlfriend Carly Friel that showed the world that she said yes to his marriage proposal. Or how about in October 2024, when he alerted fans that he was bringing Chance back to Genoa City? And most recently, when he gave everyone a glimpse into his trip back to Texas, where the actor shared, "Home is where you make it." So you see, it's always best to make sure you're following the real actor, as not to miss the latest updates from them. And remember, if you see a fake account, always report it. The stars appreciate that, and they would never want their fans to fall prey to someone trying to take advantage of them. The Young and the Restless recap for Monday, March 3, reveals that Diane Jenkins Abbott will trash Phyllis Summers to Billy Abbott, while Lily Winter's confession enraged Nate Hastings. At Billy's place on Monday's Y&R episode, Sally Spectra will fluff the sofa pillows and talk about this being a big night for him. Diane and Jack Abbott will come over to celebrate now that Jack's invested in Abbott Communications, so there'll be some toasts and talk about the Abbott mansion renovations. Once Diane brings up Phyllis being part of Billy's company, she'll question if he really wants to work with her. Billy will defend Phyllis as an asset, but Diane will worry when she hears Phyllis is MIA and making surprise business deals. After Jack privately urges Diane to stop trashing Phyllis and raining on Billy's parade, he'll assure Billy that he trusts his judgment. That said, Jack will basically warn Billy to proceed with caution when it comes to Phyllis. Once Jack and Diane leave, they'll continue their Phyllis-related discussion at the GCAC. Jack will admit he tried to give Billy a gentler Phyllis warning and will suggest he really wants his brother to fly on this project. Diane will argue that flying anywhere with Phyllis tends to result in a crash landing. Back with Billy, he'll hint to Sally that he's considered pushing Phyllis out of the company since she's being shady and mysterious. However, Billy will seem suspicious and wonder if something else is going on, especially since Phyllis isn't stupid and knows this is her last chance. Sally will ask if Billy thinks something's happened to Phyllis, and based on his expression, that'll indeed be what he's worried about. Billy will remain uneasy as he wishes Phyllis would call him back with some updates. At the GCAC, Amy Louise will make more progress with Damian Kane, who'll at least be willing to try repairing their damaged relationship. After Damian brings up Lily and Devin Winters, he'll fish for info on whether Nate's cousins can be trusted. Amy will be puzzled over Damian's interest at first, but he'll make it seem like it's because he's open to bonding with Nate. At Nate's apartment, he'll share drinks with Lily and Billy as they celebrate a business deal Winters just closed. Talk will eventually turn to Damian, so Lily will admit she had him investigated. That news won't go over well with Nate, but Devin will think they should at least hear what Lily's learned. Lily will admit that Damian is just the CEO of the companies that they previously thought he owned. Once Lily explains that Aristotle Dumas is the real owner, Nate will defend Damian a bit and suggest maybe there's an explanation for his deception. Nate will want to give Damian the benefit of the doubt. After Nate pushes Lily to confess where she got her intel, she'll admit it came from Victor Newman. Nate will blow his top over Victor's involvement and worry this is all going to come back to bite them. Since Nate's priority will be helping Amy reconnect with her son, he'll worry that Damian will find out about Lily's investigation and that it'll scare him away. Lily will let it slip that she's met with Damian multiple times, so Nate won't be happy about that either. After Nate lashes out at Lily, he'll apologize for coming down on her so hard. That said, Nate will make it crystal clear that he didn't ask for Lily's help and doesn't need it. With so much at stake for Amy, Nate will want Lily to avoid any additional investigations or casual run-ins with Damien. The Young and the Restless spoilers say there's more family conflict ahead, so we'll bring you more predictions on all the Damien drama. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Summer Newman may say 5 words to Kyle Abbott and turn his romance with Claire Newman upside down in the process. If Summer plays her cards right, she just might steal Kyle back for herself. It's easy to see that Summer is dealing with some jealousy now that Claire and Kyle's relationship is deepening. There's no denying that Kyle has real feelings for Claire, who's been a huge source of support in recent months. That said, we're already seeing signs of trouble since Victor Newman disapproves of Claire and Kyle being together. Although Claire told Kyle that she could live without Victor's blessing, she'd clearly feel better if she had it. Summer is exploiting this weak spot in Kyle and Claire's relationship with all of her petty little comments. Of course, Summer is also finding moments to pull Kyle closer, like the night they worked on Harrison Abbott's project, or when she got his comfort over Phyllis Summer's disappearance. Y and R spoilers say Summer will step up her game in the coming weeks, so there'll be more opportunities for her to make her move. Kyle may find himself increasingly drawn to Summer and their familiar bond. That's especially true since Victor's disapproval could drive the wedge that he intends. Summer made a prediction about Victor getting what he wants, so he could succeed in chipping away at Kyle and Claire's connection. In the midst of all this, Summer may ultimately say those 5 words we mentioned, "I never stopped loving you." How will Kyle react if Summer pours her heart out and makes a huge confession like that? It could certainly give Kyle a lot to mull over. Summer could also push Kyle to think of Harrison and how wonderful it'd be if his parents reunited. Perhaps Summer will urge Kyle to fix their family and make Harrison the happiest kid on the planet. However, Summer may focus on her own feelings as well and admit that despite her attempts to get over Kyle, she's never been able to. Maybe Summer will pressure Kyle to confess that he still loves her too. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Kyle may make some updates to his romantic life sooner or later, so stay tuned for any love triangle news to come. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Phyllis Summers and Sharon Newman have been kidnapped to play a game. The mysterious storyline includes an unseen captor. Stafford recently opened up to TV Insider about the storyline, even calling it a little movie. Keep reading to find out more information. Double disappearance. Fans just watched as Sharon finally got over her ordeal with Ian Ward and Jordan. Sharon and Phyllis have both gone missing at the same time. However, nobody believes they are together because they hate one another. Fans know that the two actually are together, but in a forced environment. Mysterious captor. So far, Phyllis and Sharon have woken up in an abandoned mental hospital. Phyllis and Sharon must work together to survive the game. At first, that seemed impossible. However, the two are starting to work together. The two were even able to make a phone call so their loved ones don't call the police or start looking for them. Still, fans have no idea who is operating the game. Sharon Case's surprise. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that in the TV Insider interview, Case was surprised to hear that she had another kidnapping storyline, this one with Stafford. Case was caught off guard as Sharon just went through her kidnapping with Jordan and being framed for Heather Stevens' Vale Bloom murder. Case explained, "Before we went on Christmas break, someone told me, 'Oh, Michelle Stafford said that when you guys come back, you have a storyline together, something about being abducted, maybe?' And I'm like, 'Wait, what? I was just abducted. Maybe somebody misheard her.'" Stafford thought it was so funny because Sharon was getting kidnapped all over again. Case did say that Sharon has been kidnapped 3 or 4 times now. Sharon knows her way through a kidnapping by now. Phyllis Summers talks. This double kidnapping story might have an unexpected outcome. Wouldn't it be interesting if Phyllis and Sharon actually became friends after their ordeal? Stafford did have this to say: "I appreciate the story because there was nowhere for Phyllis and Sharon to go. It was the apex of their discord. Something had to happen from that. There's no way Phyllis is ever going to say, 'Oh, it's okay that you hid the bloody towels. I'm over it.' And no way that Sharon is going to be okay with not being forgiven and just moving on. When they see each other, it would be difficult. So I think this story that we're doing really fixes that." Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on ABC to find out what is coming up next. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Nick Newman could be forced into the captor's game next. Will Nick face a dilemma where he can only save one woman, Sharon Newman or Phyllis Summers? Someone went to the trouble of drugging, kidnapping, and terrifying Phyllis and Sharon with this whole twisted plot. Now Sharon and Phyllis are trapped in an abandoned psychiatric facility where they're having to work as a team to solve riddles related to their past. The person behind all this clearly knows Phyllis and Sharon's history, but what's the motive here? Is this elaborate scheme meant to end Sharon and Phyllis' feud or push these rivals to their breaking point? Regardless, the captor warned Phyllis and Sharon that the prize of this game was staying alive. That implies that if Sharon and Phyllis don't play, they won't survive their time in captivity. It's possible the person responsible simply wants to scare Phyllis and Sharon into cooperating. In that case, the danger may not be as real as it seems to be. That said, Y&R head writer and executive producer Josh Griffith did say Phyllis and Sharon would be thrown into a life-or-death situation where they're both going to have to reevaluate their relationship in an interview with TV Insider. If Sharon and Phyllis' lives are truly on the line, then that opens the door to a troubling twist. Since Phyllis and Sharon's history is such a big part of this game, Nick may ultimately get tangled up in the drama. After all, Nick has played such a huge role in Sharon and Phyllis' rivalry over the years. The captor might decide this should be a winner-take-all battle and leave Nick to make a disturbing decision. What if after Phyllis and Sharon win their part of the game, Nick is lured into this for the final level? The captor might insist there can only be one winner and force Nick to choose whether he saves Sharon or Phyllis. There might even be an explosive device with a timer or some other way to push Nick to make a choice fast. Nick faced a similar ordeal back when Cameron Curson tried to force him to choose between Sharon and Faith Newman, so it might feel like déjà vu. Although Nick is closer to Sharon these days, he still cares about Phyllis as well, and they're both the mothers of his children. It would be an absolute nightmare if Nick had to decide which woman survives. Naturally, we know Phyllis and Sharon are still on the show, so no one's actually going to face a grim fate. Even so, Nick could still land in a tight spot as the show plays up Sharon and Phyllis' dangerous circumstances. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Nick could get stuck in the game eventually. So stick with us for predictions on the outcome and updates on any chaotic news ahead. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers remain stuck in captivity. But who's responsible for their nightmare? The answer depends on the motive behind all this. Phyllis and Sharon have done plenty of debating about what exactly their captor wants. Sometimes Sharon and Phyllis think they're meant to sort out their differences, but they've also wondered whether their captor wants them to destroy each other. Y&R spoilers have played this up as a life-threatening situation, and the distorted voice delivering orders insisted the prize of this game was staying alive. There's a chance this is the work of some past villain that'll ultimately be revealed. However, it's also possible that someone who cares about both Sharon and Phyllis has had enough of their antics. This may be a drastic last resort to convince Phyllis and Sharon to move beyond their issues. It's worth mentioning that Sharon and Phyllis aren't exactly being hurt here. They've even got access to coffee in the morning. Their captor seems fairly considerate under the circumstances and has thought of everything. There's also the matter of these riddles connected to Phyllis and Sharon's history, right down to the song that was playing at the charity event they fought at. The person to blame knows a ton about Sharon and Phyllis' conflict over the years. Who would know all these historical facts and care enough about pushing the women to make peace? Could it be Michael Baldwin who's behind this double kidnapping and the strange game that's going down? It seems cruel for Michael to make Sharon and Phyllis' families worry after the ordeals they've already been through lately. That said, maybe Michael's hoping the phone calls will suffice until these two can call a truce. As for the drugging that Phyllis and Sharon believe happened, what if it wasn't quite that sinister? Perhaps it'll eventually be revealed that Michael slipped Sharon and Phyllis some sleepy time tea that was perfectly natural and harmless. Likewise, all this talk about playing the game to stay alive may be nothing more than a scare tactic. Whatever the case, there's no denying that the captor's pattern of speech could fit for Michael. Despite the distorted sound, there's something so Michael-ish about some of the words and phrases coming through that speaker. In the February 28 episode, the mysterious voice greeted the ladies and later responded to Sharon's valid request by suggesting that he'd consider a commensurate prize. Michael is a lawyer with a flair for the dramatic, so he often speaks rather formally like that. It's possible Victor Newman is involved, but he's definitely not the person talking to Sharon and Phyllis. Victor was busy having a conversation with Nick Newman and Nikki Newman when the captor was delivering instructions. Plus, it's hard to believe Victor would care enough about Phyllis and Sharon getting along to be part of this elaborate ruse. Michael's the one with the motive for bringing these two women together. When Victor summoned Michael recently, Michael thought it might be about the Abbott spies and his plot against Jack Abbott. It was actually about Victor wanting info on Damien Kane's connection to Aristotle Dumas. You'd think there would have been veiled talk about some other thing Michael was handling if Victor was in on this. Perhaps Michael is flying solo on this one, though Victor might know what he's up to. Regardless, Michael makes the most sense when we add up all the captor clues, at least so far. That could change as the game progresses, but all signs certainly seem to be pointing to Michael at the moment. If Michael is indeed to blame, he may pay the price. You can bet Michael will face major backlash if Sharon, Phyllis, and their loved ones find out he took his plan to such an extreme level. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Michael could land in some hot water, so we'll bring you predictions on the fallout and updates on any shocking news ahead. The latest Young and the Restless spoilers have set the internet ablaze with speculation about the futures of Sharon Case and Michelle Stafford. The unexpected disappearance of Phyllis has left Genoa City residents scrambling for answers, and surprisingly, Sharon will be the one to take on the search for her longtime rival. Fans are now wondering, could this storyline lead to both characters exiting the show? In a shocking twist, both Phyllis and Sharon will go missing, leaving behind only a handful of clues. This mystery deepens as Sharon finds herself drawn into a high-stakes rescue mission that could completely change her dynamic with Phyllis. The two women, who have been at odds for years, might be forced to work together to survive. Could this be the beginning of an unexpected alliance, or will their past grudges create even more tension? Phyllis' last known whereabouts were shrouded in mystery. Viewers saw her lost in a dreamlike fantasy about Billy Abbott, who is currently in Paris with Sally Spectra. Could Phyllis have fled to the city of love on a whim, or is something far more sinister at play? Some fans suspect that Ian Ward, the notorious villain who has haunted Genoa City for years, may be involved in her sudden disappearance. Meanwhile, Sharon's heroic role in this storyline is catching fans by surprise. While she has always been compassionate, stepping in as Phyllis' potential savior is a bold move. If she successfully rescues Phyllis, it could completely shift the perception of her character. Even Phyllis and her family may see her in a new light. As the drama unfolds, Speculation is growing about whether this intense storyline is setting the stage for Sharon and Phyllis to leave the show. Could this mysterious disappearance mark the end of an era for both characters, or will they return stronger than ever? Fans are eagerly waiting to see if this rescue mission will mend old wounds or create new rivalries. Stay tuned for more explosive developments on The Young and the Restless. The Young and the Restless spoilers revealed that Phyllis Summers and Sharon Newman have been kidnapped together. Forced to play the game, who is behind the distorted voice over the speaker? Could it actually be Michael Baldwin, who is going to extreme measures to end the decades-long feud between the two women? Keep reading and let's discuss what could happen next with this storyline. Phyllis Summers' disappearance. Fans know that Phyllis and Sharon both disappeared at the same time. Nobody believed they would be together since they hate one another so much. However, there are clues adding up, especially after Phyllis and Sharon made phone calls to their loved ones. The phone calls were meant to eliminate suspicion. The mysterious captor doesn't want anyone looking for Phyllis and Sharon. Sharon Newman's survival skills. Sharon and Phyllis have no idea who their captor is. All that is known is a distorted male voice is giving orders. There are riddles to answer, and at one point, the phone was unlocked so they could contact their loved ones. Nick Newman's gut instincts. Sharon gave Nick Newman a story about being in Sedona. Sharon added that she lost her phone and had to get a burner. Sharon also claimed to have sent Mariah Copeland and Faith Newman text messages, which Nick will later learn was a lie. Despite the phone call being meant to reassure Nick, it has just set off alarm bells. Sharon and Phyllis both used the burner phone and out-of-town excuse within minutes of each other. Michael Baldwin's scheme. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that there are all kinds of speculation as to who is behind the game. One is Victor Newman, but he seems preoccupied with other things right now. Some fans believe it's Ian Ward, which is possible, but that seems way too obvious this early in the storyline. Could it actually be Michael? Michael and Lauren Fenmore Baldwin are sick of Phyllis and Sharon's feud. The legal battles, the constant bickering, Phyllis forcing her friends to choose sides, and even the frame job all stemmed from the rivalry. Lauren would never approve of a double kidnapping, but Michael has a devious past. Plus, the hostages get hot coffee in the morning and aren't exactly suffering. Even though Phyllis likes to name-call, the captor hasn't lost his temper yet. In fact, this seems to be about teaching the women rather than hurting them. That points to someone who cares for them both. Do you believe Michael could be the mysterious captor? Will Phyllis and Sharon end up on better terms after this shared experience? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. It looks like Melissa Ordway is trading in the glitz and drama of Genoa City for a brand new adventure, one that comes with some very familiar company. The Young and the Restless fan favorite is stepping into a new role in Blue Ridge, the series, and she won't be doing it alone. The actress will be reuniting with not one, but two former daytime TV stars. Let's break it all down. The Young and the Restless icon lands a new role. The Young and the Restless star Melissa Ordway, best known for playing Abby Newman, shocked viewers last year as she revealed that the CBS soap had taken her off contract. And while she made it clear that the decision was not hers, she reassured viewers that she wasn't going anywhere, at least not completely. "I'm still playing Abby," she explained. "I'm just not guaranteed episodes and can work on other projects." Well, now we know exactly what one of those other projects is. Ordway is set to star in Blue Ridge. The series, a crime drama based on the 2020 film Blue Ridge. The popular soap star is teaming up with fellow soap alums. It includes Days of Our Lives and Santa Barbara Veta Martinez, Jonathan Cheeches, and Hallmark faves Christopher Palaha and Jesse Hutch. Ordway took to Instagram and shared the exciting update with her friends and fans. along with a very famous line from one of William Shakespeare's plays. She wrote, "To be or not to be, that is the question." Thankful to be a part of this super fun episode of Blue Ridge. The series is a follow-up to the 2020 film starring Sheeches that aired its first season on the Cowboy Way channel, which is now the Western Bound channel. Of course, this big move has fans wondering, does this mean we'll be seeing less of Abby Newman in Genoa City? While Ordway hasn't said anything about leaving Y&R completely, it's clear she's taking on as many new projects as possible. We wish her all the best for her new endeavor. For more The Young and the Restless updates, keep following Soap Opera Daily. The Young and the Restless spoilers tease that Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra are growing closer after a romantic trip to Paris. What could go wrong? Plenty, considering that Billy Boy has a track record for sabotaging his life on a whim. Here are 4 things that Billy is capable of doing to break Sally's heart. Billy Boy always messes up. 1. Billy is keeping secrets from Sally, and that is not kosher. Billy is lying to her about dropping his revenge plans against the Newman family. This will cause her untold anguish if and when she finds out. If Billy does something to hurt her ex Adam Newman, Sally could be propelled right back into his arms. 2. Billy can't quite quit Phyllis. While Billy isn't drooling over Red, neither is he willing to completely shut her out of his life. And this has Sally antsy. It seems implausible that Phyllis is pining for Billy after he cheated on her with her daughter Summer Newman, Allison Lanier, but here we are. Sally noticed how upset Billy was about Phyllis' disappearance, and as long as she's around, there is the possibility of a reunion. Phyllis and Billy are schemers, and this could pull Billy to the dark side and away from Sally's loving embrace. What do you think, Y&R fans? Billy is his own worst enemy. 3. Billy can't seem to rehab from sabotaging his life when the going gets good. And you know what they say, the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. So it's easy to see Billy kerplunking his happiness with Sally for some rash reason that makes little sense. It's what Billy does. 4. Billy tastes revenge. Billy talks a good game, but we know he is hellbent on coming out top dog. He is having secret phone calls about Chancellor, even though he vowed to bury the past, and this could be what buries him. Sally is with Billy under the pretense that he is playing nice, and she will blow her top when she finds out that he is lying. Lying was one of the reasons why Sally left Adam after all. Will Sally resent the lies and playing second fiddle to Billy's career and vengeance? No one likes to be deceived. Tell us what you think about these scenarios, Y&R fans. The Young and the Restless spoilers tease that Victoria Newman and Cole Howard's romance seems to have frozen in the frigid GC winter air. Immediately after Victor Newman gave him his blessing to pursue his daughter, Cole disappeared. No worries, there could be a new love interest for Vic in the form of mystery man Aristotle Dumas. Who else thought Victoria and her baby daddy were boring? Who is Alexander Dumas? Claire Newman was thrilled to have her parents Cole and Victoria back on track, but Cole seems to have gone to the attic never to be seen again. We all know that Victoria loves bad boys, and with Ari on Victor's radar, he could be the perfect baddie to come between Vic and Daddy. We know little about Aristotle Dumas, but Victor is investigating him. We know the guy likes to live on the down low, and this suggests he's as shady as a weeping willow. Aristotle is a mogul and sounds like Victoria's last bad boy Ashland Locke. Who will Victoria choose? Apparently, there are no social media pics of Aristotle, so we can imagine him popping up at Society and catching Victoria's eye or vice versa. Another angle would have Victoria cheat on Cole to create a messy triangle. At least then we'd see Cole exhibit some passion. Ari is the boss of Damien, who himself is not what he seems. Can you imagine the kind of guy who is pulling Damien's strings? Victoria's new romance. Right now, Victoria has settled into a comfortable pattern with Claire, who is an adult, by the way. She doesn't need Victoria's watchful eye, although Mama Bear mode comes naturally to the careful mom. Explosive the Young and the Restless spoilers hint that big changes could be coming for Victoria, so stay tuned. We predict that Victoria will somehow have a reaction when Ari does come to town, what with her dad already sus about him. Poor Victor, he doesn't need more problems, you got that. Tell us what you think about the possibility that Victoria and Ari hook up. Y and R fans. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Phyllis Summers and Sharon Newman have been kidnapped together. Forced to play the game, who is behind the distorted voice over the speaker? Could it actually be Michael Baldwin who is going to extreme measures to end the decades-long feud between the two women? Keep reading and let's discuss what could happen next with this storyline. Phyllis Summers' disappearance. Fans know that Phyllis and Sharon both disappeared at the same time. Nobody believed they would be together since they hate one another so much. However, there are clues adding up, especially after Phyllis and Sharon made phone calls to their loved ones. The phone calls were meant to eliminate suspicion. The mysterious captor doesn't want anyone looking for Phyllis and Sharon. Sharon Newman's survival skills. Sharon and Phyllis have no idea who their captor is. All that is known is a distorted male voice is giving orders. There are riddles to answer, and at one point, the phone was unlocked so they could contact their loved ones. Nick Newman's gut instincts. Sharon gave Nick Newman a story about being in Sedona. Sharon added that she lost her phone and had to get a burner. Sharon also claimed to have sent Mariah Copeland and Faith Newman text messages, which Nick will later learn was a lie. Despite the phone call being meant to reassure Nick, it has just set off alarm bells. Sharon and Phyllis both used the burner phone and out-of-town excuse within minutes of each other. Michael Baldwin's scheme. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that there are all kinds of speculation as to who is behind the game. One is Victor Newman, but he seems preoccupied with other things right now. Some fans believe it's Ian Ward, which is possible, but that seems way too obvious this early in the storyline. Could it actually be Michael? Michael and Lauren Fenmore Baldwin are sick of Phyllis and Sharon's feud. The legal battles, the constant bickering, Phyllis forcing her friends to choose sides, and even the frame job all stemmed from the rivalry. Lauren would never approve of a double kidnapping, but Michael has a devious past. Plus, the hostages get hot coffee in the morning and aren't exactly suffering. Even though Phyllis likes to name-call, the captor hasn't lost his temper yet. In fact, this seems to be about teaching the women rather than hurting them. That points to someone who cares for them both. Do you believe Michael could be the mysterious captor? Will Phyllis and Sharon end up on better terms after this shared experience?